Hey guys, Fan of the Reds here, and today I'm going to be doing a Bass Pro Shops unboxing. Okay, I've not gotten my mystery tackle box for the month, and it is the 18th of April, so I'm going to go ahead and do this Bass Pro Shops unboxing, and we'll get started. Now, what I found out when I started my spring season this year was that I was missing one of my key spring baits, so I had to pick up a couple more, and I was also running low on another one of my key spring baits. So without further ado, we'll get going. The bait that I was missing, that I didn't realize I was out of, was a buzz bait. I love throwing buzz baits. I went with the Booyah Buzz. It's the 1/4 ounce buzz bait. I don't know if you can tell on this package here, but it's got a clacker that hits on the actual buzz bait piece itself. I went with the black color because really for topwater and especially buzz baits, I only like two colors, black and white. Okay, black if it's overcast or getting dark outside, or if it's really sunny outside, I like to throw white. Okay, so I went with the black on the 1/4 ounce Booyah Buzz. The second bait that I went with was the 1/8 ounce Booyah Pond Magic Buzz. This is the smaller size. It's half the size of that 1/4 ounce buzz bait, and it does not have the clacker on the actual buzz bait. And I got it, like I said, in white. This is a smaller profile. I wanted that for the springtime, especially when the bass are chasing smaller minnows and such around, and also when they're hitting on a lot of insects. So I went with the white Booyah Pond Magic Buzz, and I went with the black Booyah Buzz that has the clacker on the buzz bait. Alright, now typically the buzz baits that I throw are actually Crooked Mouth Tackle Company buzz baits. It's the Kyobin buzz bait. Love these things, man. Right now they're back ordered. I can't get any. Wish I could. Chris, if you're listening, get going, buddy. I need some. But these things, they're great buzz baits. If you guys remember the Freedom spinner baits that came in the mystery tackle box a couple of months ago, where the hook swiveled, the Kyobin buzz, and they also do make a spinner bait as well. The Kyobin brand on those hooks actually swivel as well, and they've been out for a few years. They don't detach like the Freedom Lures does, but they do swivel 360 degrees around, and it makes it very difficult for the bass to throw. They also, the tungsten weight on the head of it slides up and down the arm, so as you cast, it will slide to the upper end of the arm to give you a better casting distance, and then it will reset back to the base as you're reeling it back in to help keep it run true. So I love those Kyobins. Unfortunately, back ordered, can't get them right now, so I went with the Booyah brand of the buzzbait. Alright, now for the lure that I was running low on, okay, poppers. I love to throw poppers, especially in the springtime, but I like to throw them most of the year until the water just gets too cold and they're not hitting up top. And the one that I went with is the Rebel Pop R. This is in the Foxy Shad color. This is the standard size of the Rebel Pop R. I know what you guys are thinking. I could have spent an extra $2 or $3 and gone with a high-end, the Lucky Crafts or the Smithfield or one of the other top brand name of poppers. Why did I go with the Rebel Pop R? Well, I'll tell you guys, the reason is I've been throwing the Rebel Pop R since I was a kid, and I've been catching bass on them since I was a kid. They walk the dog great, they pop well, they've got the weight sitting in the back end of the popper so it sits down in the water, so when you pop it, it actually gives a really good popping motion. Just everything about the Rebel Pop R I love. They've always been successful for me. The only thing with them, I do change out the hooks. The hooks that come on the Rebel are not the greatest, so I do change out those hooks, but other than that, I just absolutely love the Rebel Pop R. So that's what I went with, and like I said, it's in the Foxy Shad color. I know when I was talking about the buzz baits, I said top waters Really, I only care about two things: black and white colors. And this is not a black or a white color, but if you look at the belly's white, and it also has this little orange spot right by the hook. And that hook is going to be changed out for a Gamakatsu red treble hook. So you'll have that orange spot with the red treble hook hanging below it. I think it really gives something for those bass to keep in on. All right. The second popper that I went with, believe it or not, is the Bass Pro Shops XTS series popper. Okay, the reason I went with this one, two reasons. One, I love the color. Okay, this is you can tell it's a black with a silver throat on it, but it's actually a glass minnow. It's the kind of that ghost minnow type color where you can see through at certain angles of the bait. And also, with it being black, it gives me that contrast to the white popper I already have. And then, of course, the other popper I have in my tackle box is a white Rebel popper. It's the larger version. Second reason that I went with the XTX version was very simple. When I started doing my research, what I come to find out was that every brand, didn't matter if it was the Rebel, didn't matter if it was the Lucky Craft or the Copper's Live Target, all of them, no matter the size of the popper, they're all the same price. Okay, the Rebel popper, the large one, the medium one, and the junior, they're all $7. Okay, the Lucky Crafts, they're all $10. It didn't matter about the size. And for the little miniature version, which I'm really primarily going to throw in the spring, I didn't really want to drop as much money on it. And so I went with the Bass Pro Shops XTS because it was $2.99 for the small version. Yes, the larger versions were more expensive, and that's another reason I went with the Rebel popper that was comparable in price. However, the small version was only $2.99, and just like the Rebel popper, the only negative I could find on the reviews for this thing was the hooks, and I will be changing that out just like I will be on the Rebel. Okay. So that is the baits that I needed to replace, and the baits that I needed to add to what I already had because I was running low. This next one, this was sheerly I want it. Okay, as you guys may know if you watched my videos from last month on the mystery tackle box, I did not get the same box that most people got. Of course, I got it a little bit late, kind of like I am this month, and I did not get the same box that everyone else got. With that said, I actually watched the other unboxings as I was waiting for my box to come, and I saw that a lot of people were getting the River to Sea Whopper Plopper. Okay, I'm going to call it the WP because I feel really silly saying Whopper Plopper. All right, but I noticed a lot of folks were getting the River to Sea WP in their boxes, and I looked at videos on it. I was, really kind of researched this bait. I got really hyped up. I wanted to get this bait. I love throwing topwater. My buddy's pond that I fish at a lot is a topwater mecca. All those fish love to hit topwater baits. Not to mention he's got a ton of submerged grass in that thing, so trying to throw anything that sinks is a chore at best. So I really was looking forward to it. And then when I got my mystery tackle box, I got the one from last fall. Had a jerk bait, had hair jigs. Wasn't what I was hoping for. So when I got this order, started putting this order together, what I found was I really still wanted the WP. All right, one advantage of ordering it as opposed to getting it in the mystery tackle box was that I got the color I wanted. And just like I've been talking about all these topwater lures here, all right, black and white. I went with the Ish's color, Some Sexy and I Know It, which, as you can tell, is more of a Tennessee shad. It's basically a white bottom with a darker back, a blue back on the top. I went with this because Given the choice of white and black, I'm going to throw white more often, especially living here in Alabama. You get a lot more sunny days, especially in the summer, than you do cloudy and overcast. So I'm going to throw this also, this whopper plopper tail that spins and creates all that commotion on the back end. Guess what? That's going to draw fish in even if it is a little bit darker out, so they don't have to see it from as far away like they do some of those other baits. So I went with the River to Sea WP because I really just wanted that bait. And lastly, and this is the one that you guys probably have never heard of. If you have, please let me know, because nobody's writing any reviews, nobody's made any videos on this thing, and it is the Bass Pro Shops Double Take. Okay, Bass Pro Shops Double Take. As you can see, it's a 2-lure system. This front lure here, this top one, it is the front lure of the system, and it floats. It's kind of a wake bait. You run your line through the tube in the front, comes out the tube in the back, then you tie it onto the front of the back bait, which acts kind of like a lipless crankbait. It comes up to the top as you reel it through, but when you stop it, it sinks. Okay, it's really going to be useful for things like schooling shad, especially around dams or around bridge pylons, things like that, where you can throw it past the schooling fish, bring it through. Once you get it into that bait ball, you can pause it, let that back lure sink through the bait ball, and the fish pick it off as it falls through. But this thing has been out since 2010, and there's only 5 reviews on Bass Pro Shops website. All right, it's a Bass Pro Shops lure that's been out since 2010, and only 5 reviews have been written. So I did a little more research. I searched YouTube, and guess what? I could not find a single YouTube video related to this Bass Pro Shops Double Take. So one of the things that I do want to do with this channel is introduce lures that a lot of people haven't heard much about or haven't heard anything about. Hopefully I can bring something to you that will fit your style of fishing and give you a new option and a new bait you can throw that maybe you would have never heard of before. Okay, so I want to do the review on this Bass Pro Shops Double Take. I will be getting this put together as soon as I can. I got to get one of my buddies that has a boat that can run me out to the dam on Lake Jordan. I think that's going to be one of the spots that this lure is going to excel at. So with all that said, that's everything I have for this Bass Pro Shops unboxing. I am going to put the prices for each one of these up and give you a total of what I spent on this box. So go ahead and get out there, have some fun, guys. That's the bottom line on this whole fishing deal. All right, just go out there, enjoy yourselves, have some fun, and do me a favor, if you see any kids out there fishing, walk up to them. All right, give them a hand, give them some tips. If you got some old soft plastics or some old lures you're not using anymore, give them to these kids. All right, let's get these kids active and involved in the fishing world, because let's face it, as we get older, these kids are the next wave that's going to come through, and if no one's interested in fishing, it's going to be impossible to find places to go. It's going to be impossible to find lures to fish. All right, so let's help these kids get interested and get going. Thanks, and have a great day.